the hidden story behind a Beatles song. In a quiet house on Wimpole Street in London, a young Paul McCartney once wrote a song in a small bedroom that belonged to the family of the woman he loved. It wasn't written in a studio. It wasn't written for an album. It was written in the middle of a relationship that was slowly breaking apart. Something had changed. The woman Paul loved was spending more time away, going to the theater, building a life that no longer revolved around him. And Paul began to feel something painful. Not anger, not betrayal, but absence. He would later describe it as realizing that the person he loved was no longer really there. So he did what he always did. He turned that feeling into a song. Not to hurt her, not to blame her, but to free himself from what he was carrying inside. Years later, Paul explained that writing it was a way to release a weight he had been holding, and the emotion behind it became one of the most haunting lines he ever wrote. I'm looking through you, and you're not there. That moment became a song, and that song was called I'm Looking Through You. Full statements about the song. I actually wrote quite a lot in that room. I'm Looking Through You was, I think, after an argument with Jane. There were a few of those moments. Several of my songs from that period, including We Can Work It Out and You Won't See Me, were based on my relationship with Asher. As often happens in relationships, you sometimes argue or disagree about things, and some of the songs from that time were about that. I especially remember this one because I was disillusioned with her commitment. She was going a lot to the Bristol Old Vic at that time. Let's just say the song was probably connected to that romantic episode. I was seeing through her facade and realizing things weren't quite what they seemed. I wrote about it in song form, and that helped me get rid of the emotion. I don't hold grudges, so it lifted that emotional weight off me. I specifically remember this song being about that, about getting rid of a burden. I'm looking through you, and you're not there. Paul McCartney on Jane Asher. For a long time, my whole life revolved around being single. I didn't treat women the way most people do. I always had many people around me. Even when I was in a serious relationship, my life was always very easygoing and unconventional. I knew it was selfish. That caused some arguments. Jane once left me and went to Bristol to act. I said, "All right, then go. I'll find someone else." But it was devastating to be without her.